It's been a while since we talked about America, isn't it?
Yep, I'm always ready to talk about America.
It's just a shame that now I've got to talk about the B list,
Yeah, so
the B list USA parks.
yep, here we go.
Does SFA even count as B list?
SFA is like
Its own
it's
category.
F list, like
Yeah.
F list. Okay, welcome back to the Decent Thrills podcast. This is what is this? The third part of our
third US episode. Yeah.
third part of our US trip, which we did almost half a year ago now. But whatever, we'll just keep going on.
Oh God, I don't want to think about that.
But we went to parks that not many UK enthusiasts go to, so
Yeah.
we've got things
so
to
now I'm going
talk
to talk about the B list parks.
Yes, so
Which is Dorney and Six Flags America. Now, we did kind of break order with our things because we wanted to do an episode on Hershey Park first. We did Dorney Park before Hershey Park, and then SFA was after. So, just catch up on that. But yeah, let's get into Dorney, I guess.
yeah, so this was a first for all of us, including Max. He'd never been before. And Andrew was with us as well, who works at Dorney Park.
Yeah, Andrew, who works at Dorney Park.
Um,
This was didn't we have like quite a bit of a drive to get to this one? I remember
it wasn't too long.
because I'm pretty sure we drove from the hotel we
We
stayed
drove
at.
from our hotel in Trenton
Yeah.
to here, to Allentown, Dorney.
Mhm.
I think it was only about an hour, 2.5 hours ish.
Yeah, it
wasn't
was
too
still a bit
long.
of a journey.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird. It's a weird one, Dorney Park, because I've heard some people describe it as disgusting and pointless and terrible and generic and boring.
No.
I don't think so.
I really like this park.
Yeah.
For what it is, at least. I don't think it's the best in the world. The amount of times I've said that, there should be like a counter every time I say something along those lines. Like, it's good, but it's not the best in the world.
Well, no, it's not. No one's expecting it to be the best in the world, but it's
Yeah.
nice. I thought it had some areas where it was a little bit sort of concrete, flat, kind of.
That's mainly just the entrance bit,
Yeah.
though, and around Wicked Twister.
Wicked Twister.
Oh, no, not that.
Wrong,
the
wrong
Intimate
park.
Impulse that we're gonna talk way too much about when we get to it.
Yes. Yeah, I can agree with that. There are some. Oh, the area, the plaza outside Hydra as well is quite open and flat.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, it's quite nicely
This is
wooded.
one of the most. It's one of the most Cedar Fair of the Cedar Fair parks I've been to. Like it fits that stereotype that people give Cedar Fair pretty much to a T.
It is
Where,
like
it's like a park that's been around for a while. It's got some classic rides. It's got you can tell when Cedar Point came in and put in their stuff and gave it whatever. And then you've got the more modern stuff, the more modern Cedar Fair stuff. When I say modern, Dorney Park's got nothing for years. So.
Yeah, it's true. No, it's got some quite nice areas. There's a little there's a canal, like little canal thing that runs along near the side of Thunderhawk, which is quite nice. There's little bridges over it. There's a little railway that runs alongside
It's all on a hill as well. Like there's when you enter the park, it's a really awkward position. It's on the far right of the land.
Yeah.
Well, for the theme park itself. To the right of the entrance, you have the water park, which is one of Dorney's main drawing points for main visitors, as far as I'm aware. Like the theme park is not loved as much as the water park. I believe. I think I said this on the Hershey Park episode, but people call it Wild Water Kingdom and Dorney Park. Or someone, I think Andrew made the joke that it should be called Wild Water Kingdom and Dorney Park. Yeah.
Because it's the water park that's the main draw for the general public, which I can see because it is a pretty big water park, honestly. It's a pretty massive.
And of course, in
water park.
America, it's that weather. It's perfect for water parks.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's not. It's weird. Like, there's not much to say in terms of the park. It's got a lot of trees. It doesn't feel too concrete and flat.
You can sort of tell where the new developments have been and where the classic portions of the park are. Like it's pretty obvious when you're stepping into
the rides. Each of those. The rides, whilst they're quite generic, they are quite nicely landscaped. You know, there's a lot. They do build up the land around them a bit, and they make it look nice, and they brand them quite nicely as well, I think.
Yeah, it's one of Cedar Fair's strong points is their stylization and branding of rides. So should we go to the rides we did? Yes.
We should start.
I've got them all in order. So we'll start with Talon, which is a B&M invert. This is a really nice looking coaster.
It looks so nice. The colours are great. I love the orange and the pale blue, and it's really nice looking.
And the trains are very nicely coloured as well.
Yeah.
With the teal. Is it teal or is it blue? It's like a tealy blue.
It's like teal with the kind of black and blue and yellow kind of stripes.
It's all very.
It's nicely landscaped.
Aesthetic.
Yeah, it's a very aesthetically pleasing coaster.
It's got trees around it. You know, they've obviously put some effort in. It's not just on a concrete slab. And the coaster itself, I really like this coaster.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid invert. It's not my favourite.
It's very different from the inverts I've kind of done.
Yeah. It's not particularly snappy, is it?
But this is like a really different layout flow to the likes of like Nemesis Inferno or Black Mamba. And that's what makes me like it so much, if I'm perfectly honest.
Yeah.
It's a lot less generic than the other kind of.
You say that, but it does go drop vertical loop 0G roll.
Yeah, but then it's got like, you know, you've got the Immelman, you've got the Helix, and you've got like the S section that dives underneath. And the corkscrew. It's generic and it isn't. Like, it's not like Nemesis Inferno or Batman level of basic bitch invert, I'd say. I'd say it's a step up from that, where it's actually got some nice flowing elements.
Yeah. Though I like the little helix around the entrance to the park.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of really nice kind of flowing elements, and it's solid.
I mean, I'd just say it's above. It's an above average invert, I'd say.
Yeah, it's. Where do I rank this?
I prefer it over Nemesis Inferno. That's for sure.
I have this over Nemesis Inferno and Batman, but nothing else.
I put it above the Great Adventure Batman. Not sure about the other Batman,
Magic Mountain one.
Yeah.
So
I can't remember much about the Magic Mountain one, to be perfectly honest. All I remember is that I was kind of underwhelmed, but it was still good.
Yeah.
So the other major B&M in the park is Hydra.
Yeah, I really like this thing.
Yeah. This is what I like. If possible, I'd want this where Swarm is instead of a Swarm.
Wow. Those are some brave words right there.
I know a lot of people in the US are quite divided on Hydra. Some people say it's forced, there's some boring and meandery, but while it is in some areas, I do prefer it over some of the really, really meandery stuff that B&M have made.
I mean, I like this more
than the Swarm.
I like this more than Bizarro, and Bizarro has arguably. I mean, Bizarro does more than Hydra.
Yeah, same, definitely.
Bizarro has more elements, but I like Hydra more. Just I don't know. I like the flow. I like the way it's kind of built into the terrain.
The fucking JoJo rollout station with B&M restraints.
It's really weird. It's a lot of hang time. A lot of
you get some nice air on the drop as well in the back row. It's just a straight over.
So you go that drop, and then you go up into a big turn, like a big.
I love that turnaround.
Yeah, it's snappy and quite intense as well.
Yeah, let's go for a 0G roll. Corkscrew.
There's no vertical loop on this, which I actually kind of like. It's very different.
Yeah.
The Cobra roll shaping is absolutely fucking in whack.
Yeah, but it rides really well though. Yeah. So it's.
And then there's the little meandery bit.
I think they should have lowered that a bit. Honestly, in profiling, like that's what makes it so meandery. Is it kind of goes back to a much higher level.
Yeah.
I feel like they probably could have kept it a bit lower and maybe given it a bit of floater over that S hill out of the Cobra.
The hill after that does have some airtime if you know the back.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Going back down into the sort of hill,
into
another corkscrew, and you have that helix.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just find it really nice.
Yeah.
And I'd take it over a lot of other things in the UK, honestly.
Yeah, I think I would as well.
It's a very, very fun multi-looper.
Yeah.
It's not stupid intense, it's not super snappy. It's just the best of both worlds, kind of.
And then we went into the shop afterwards and you found something pretty special in there.
Yeah, turns out Dorney Park are like the only place in the entire world that still sell Coast Dynamic Statics trains.
Yeah.
So I've got a model of Hydra's train sitting on my shelf alongside the Twist Timbers Nano Coaster I mentioned in the previous
starting to really
episode.
regret not picking one of those up now.
Yeah, I had a feeling you would, because Andrew bought one as well, didn't he?
I think he might have done, yeah.
Yeah. They're so cool. They are really cool.
I really wish I bought one now. And then I found out they did a fucking Alpengeist one. I was just, oh my god. And you can't find it anywhere.
Recently they were up, like, there was a place that sold them, but they literally sold out like that.
God.
Like, statics are quite rare. I mean, even though it's Hydra,
yeah,
I'm still glad I have one, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that's fair. I almost want to get a 3D printer and just make my own.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's going to be tricky. But anyway, yeah, Hydra. Solid, nice colours, nicely landscaped again. Pretty good layout. Fun. Not the most forceful thing, but it has forces. Unlike
I get to talk about your favourite coaster in the park.
Ooh, wait. No, not Thunderhawk. That's not my favourite coaster in the park.
You can explain.
It's a piece of shit. I'm sorry. I know it's a classic wooden coaster, but it doesn't do anything. The drop's shallow because it's old. It's a old wooden coaster. It's got no airtime. It's slow. We were on a wheel seat, so it was rough. I just wanted it to end the moment it started.
Yeah.
And this also, it gave me a headache as well, which didn't go away for like 2 days, 2 or 3 days. So thanks for that, Dorney Park. It's a piece of shit wooden coaster.
Yeah, it was not that great. And we had to queue for ages as well, so doing one train up, so now quite a few people trying to ride it.
Can only run one train, can't it?
Oh yeah, because the blocks are broken at the moment.
So yeah, that's
It's bad. I mean, especially considering we've been on the Blackpool Woodies, which are undoubtedly some of the best classical Woodies out there.
Yeah, they're all better. They're all better.
By like a lot, yeah. Even Nick Streak, honestly.
Yeah. I'd take Nick Streak over it any day.
Oh yeah.
The other weird thing about Thunderhawk is that it's painted beige, which I guess is its classic thing, but it makes the wood look new. Despite the fact that it's really old, it makes it look new.
Yeah, it's a really strange aesthetic choice, honestly. I don't quite understand it.
Yeah.
It doesn't even look like new wood. It looks white in areas.
Yeah.
It's just strange and odd.
There is quite a nice...
They do keep it around.
Yeah. They have some boards up in the queue which show like the history of the ride, like it's the classic coaster, you know. It's quite nice that they do appreciate the heritage of this thing.
Shame it's a bit shit.
Yeah. There's actually a nice point in the queue where you can stand and you can look behind you and you kind of have the lift hill, and then it's got the drop of Steel Force in the background, and they look quite nice against each other. That's quite a good photo opportunity.
Have quite a few good sight lines.
Yeah, it does. There's some really good photo opportunities here. If you like taking photos of coasters, I would recommend Dorney Park if you're in the area. Yeah, so from that thing to Steel Force. Yeah.
This was quite an interesting one for us, because during like the trip build-up, we were always talking about, is this going to be better than Big One?
Yeah.
Are we going to enjoy this more than Big One? Sort of thing. And we got on it, and it was...
It's alright.
It's alright.
Yeah.
I had some very varied rides on it. It went from poor to quite good to average.
Yeah, it's really strange. Like, it's got a lot of quite nice moments with a lot of kind of nothing in between.
Yeah.
And He doesn't really have any airtime until the very end with those last few bunny hills after the mid course.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It's a Morgan as well. It's not Arrow.
Yeah, it's
obviously.
very, very
and
smooth.
It's got that massive helix.
Yeah,
as the turnaround.
I quite like that turnaround actually.
It's all right. It's just
Yeah.
a whole lot of nothing, really.
It's just nice kind of sense of speed, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
But nothing else was really that interesting about it, honestly. It feels like
I rode it a few times with Max. I mean, you rode it.
I think I rode it a little bit less because I was.
We got it. We got a few rows we went in. Did actually have some decent floater over all of the hills, and it was actually quite good. But then every other row was just kind of nothing. Kind of. It was a weird ride.
What did Max think of it?
I can't quite remember actually. I just remember him sort of saying that it was okay, and like on that one good ride I had, he also commented on it being a lot better than the previous ones we'd had.
Okay.
And that's about it. I mean, it's definitely a skyline coaster, isn't it? Because it's sort of always in the background of Dorney.
I was surprised by how big it looks, actually.
It also was renowned as one of the best steel coasters when it opened.
Which is strange, but I guess, what else was open?
True.
At the time. It does feel a little bit like, I haven't been on it, but it feels a little bit like Diet Magnum.
It's Diet Arrow.
Diet Arrow, basically.
That's Morgan
that is Morgan.
Nutshell, more or less.
Yeah. Other than Phantom's Revenge, that's probably an exception.
Yeah. Definitely.
But yeah, Steel Force, alright. Nothing to write home about. Woodstock, it was a kiddie coaster. I've forgotten it.
I can't believe we went on that. We were just walking around. It's like, let's get the kiddie credit.
We had a full day here, and we definitely didn't get a full day.
We just did the kiddie coaster, and left. Not much to say about that, really. Possessed. Oh, no, yeah. The reason we went there is because Possessed was broken.
And then we came back to
Possessed. We were just waiting for it to open. But yeah, when we came back to Possessed and we rode it, and oh my god, this thing is a ton of fun.
What a surprise, yeah.
Yeah.
This was so much fun. I was so surprised by this.
Of all the rides, I thought I'd come away from Dorney Park saying my favourite. I didn't expect Possessed to be the one, honestly.
It's so fun. Like, the launch, it's like 70 miles per hour, isn't it? But once it gets to speed, but the launch is quite punchy. It's not quite a hydraulic launch, but it's definitely stronger than an LSM. Yeah.
Well, at least the ones that you've done.
At least the ones I've done. I'm sure Taron has a strong launch.
Yeah.
Or
I think the thing I like about this coaster is the fact that it's really rideable because of all the multiple positions you have.
Yeah.
It rides very different on the front row to the back row because of the spike and the twist.
Yeah, the vertical spike is fun. Like, I went on the back row for the first ride, and going up the vertical spike, you get some really nice kind of floater at the top. It's really fun. And then you go down, you speed through the station, you go up into the vertical spike, and then you kind of get that kind of twisty floater there, and then you fly back down, and then you go back up the vertical spike, but higher this time, and you get more floater. It's just fun. I loved it.
Yeah, I love this thing. It's one of those sort of 2D coasters that I kind of wish there were more of, because it is great fun. Better than a lot of the other ones that currently exist. Cough, cough. Harley Quinn, cough, cough. Honestly, I kind of... Do you reckon if Blackpool had the money, they would have bought one of these? Back in the day?
Yeah,
because I could see one of these. You know where Bowlerdrome is? Imagine if they'd gotten rid of that earlier and they had an impulse going along there.
I could imagine one of these in the place of Revolution, really.
Yeah.
That's like a perfect ideal space for one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Possessed.
Imagine what a new gym one of these would be like.
Yeah, please, Intamin.
LSM launch.
Please, Intamin. Make some more. They kind of have, haven't they? They did the half pipe or U-shaped coaster. Is sort
but that unfortunately died.
Oh.
That died, unfortunately, but yeah.
Oh, did it? Okay. That's sad.
It's very good.
Yeah, I loved it. So right next to Possessed, you've got Stinger.
What's left of it? It's just like the maintenance building.
Yeah, and like 1 footer.
Yeah.
So yeah, no.
It was quite a surreal experience being there, because earlier in the year I did the whole Canon to Dorney meme,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. I mean, this was one we planned when we planned this trip. Stinger was still there, and then
yeah, and they
and then it
announced it was
closed.
closing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting that
Rip.
two of the coasters that we missed out on this trip were both suspended.
Oh yeah.
Huh. So
I kind of forgot the other one existed. I've just like forcibly removed it from my memory.
yeah. So yeah, no, after that we did
Wild Mouse.
It's a Wild Mouse.
It was the shittest Wild Mouse I think I've ever done.
One thing I
slam.
do remember about it actually was that there were a couple people on the car before us who just had their phone out in their hand when it dispatched, and
the host could not give less of a fuck.
Care.
Yeah.
And Andrew, who was with us, works at Dorney Park, so he may or may not have made a report.
Them.
I don't know.
I mean, to be fair, if you're working on Wild Mouse, would you honestly care? That ride is so pants. It kills. Every single trim brings you to an almost complete stop, almost. It was bad.
I don't remember it being that.
Yeah, no, there was this one which was awful. There was one at Hershey Park which was a bit better. And then the best one, Hershey Park I think was the better one. And then we had sort of the one at Carowinds, which is sort of in the middle.
Okay.
But this was the undeniably shit one.
Yeah, all the Wild Mouse we rode on this trip have all just blended into one memory now. So,
oh no, not for me. This one was awful.
I remember being wet from the log flume whilst queuing for it.
Oh yeah, did that. We'll talk about that after the roller coasters.
So I mean, the next one's a questionable roller coaster.
It's not a coaster.
Not a coaster.
No, I don't want to believe it is.
Yeah.
Demon Drop.
Yeah. I don't generally like using the word overrated as a criticism, but for Demon Drop, I will make an absolute exception because this thing is an absolute piece of shit. And I don't know why it has the fucking... Well, I know exactly why everyone raves about it. It's because it used to be at Cedar Point and everyone's nostalgic for it. That's literally why.
It's so bad.
It's shit. Like, people say, oh, Demon Drop's the only reason to go to Dorney. No. It's like a good drop tower drop in the most uncomfortable seat and most uncomfortable position you could possibly be sat in.
I didn't even think the drop was that good. I thought it was crap.
Really? Yeah, I mean,
it's not worth it.
Yeah.
You're in this metal box, in this really awkward restraint.
You feel like you could bang your head. Like, I think Andrew was literally telling us, like, you need to sit in this position so that you don't bang your head. And we're like, fuck. Like, this ride. And then I had a headache because of fucking Thunderhawk. And then we hit the brakes, and the brakes rattled like shit and completely destroyed my head. It was awful. Nothing.
And the writing system as well on this was shit.
It's just...
There's another Intamin first-gen drop tower somewhere in the world. I can't remember where it was. I believe... Does Nagashima Spartan still have one?
I think... they're not on RCDB, that's the thing. I almost...
Because there was one that I remember seeing an off-road of, and the way it righted the cars looked a lot smoother than what we experienced. So I think that this drop tower has not been kept up to scratch, and they just kind of let it go.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the 3D render on Google Maps. It almost looks like it has a double down because of how badly it's modelled on there.
Yeah.
That's
this ride is a fucking travesty.
It's bad. Okay, I'm sorry if you love it. It's shit. And
well, let's talk about what's next door to it because that's undeniably a lot more fun.
Oh yeah, Dominator. This is the ride that made us realise how crap Ice Blast really is, or made me realise how crap Ice Blast really is. Because it's 2 drop towers and then an empty tower with no ride system in it.
The story behind it is apparently they wanted a combo tower, but SNS didn't offer them at the time, so they just didn't build one.
But they still made a third thing so they can all be joined together at the top. But they were both pretty solid towers, honestly. Pretty good SNS towers.
Yep, I thought they were pretty good. Better than Ice Blast, better than Cliffhanger as well. I really wish
Yeah.
we had like a proper working SNS tower in the UK, especially one of the new ones.
I think Cliffhanger's the closest we have to it, really.
Yeah.
I only got the drop cycle on Cliffhanger, so. But
drop cycle, I feel so bad for you.
The shot cycle on Dominate was amazing. Like, you hit the top and you get proper airtime at the top.
Yeah, and then there's just the Reese's Tower, which I mentioned in the other episode, which is even better than that. So
yeah, it's better than the 2 shot towers that I've done in the UK. Bear in mind, I haven't done Cliffhanger on that cycle.
Yeah, it's also yeah, no, that's it. I was about to say it was better than the ones at Hershey Park, but I only did one, so I can't really say that.
No. Yeah.
Let's talk about Wicker Man.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait.
So the log flume, I forced everyone to ride it.
Yeah.
Because it was hot and I was bored and I wanted to ride a log flume. I think it's good.
It's got a Wicker Man lift hill.
Yeah, it's got a Wicker Man lift hill with an angle change, which is just hilarious to me. I just wanted to ride a log flume like a conveyor belt angle change. It's just great.
Yeah, this was it wasn't like terrifying scary, but it was just scary because of how like quickly we went low down to a trough we were. Like we were rolling right along the bottom, weren't we?
Yeah. And
it was pretty fast, and there were some pretty rapidy parts, and you go right under Hydra as well.
Yeah,
so
the top's right underneath Hydra.
Yeah.
And
the drop on this is really long and elongated.
Oh, you've got a better memory of it than I do. Christ.
Well, look at the 3D view. You can see it's like it's not even at a steep angle. It's so long, and then it barely slows down by the end of the splashdown. And Andrew has told me that people have managed to fly the boat up the side of a track.
Oh God.
Not like to a terrible degree, but apparently it has hit the turn and like skidded up over it a bit. Not like out the trough, but like just the side of it has sort of gone like. Shh.
Oh God. It seems like one of those really old rides that probably would fail safety these days. That would not fly in today's standards. But yeah, I'm glad we did that. It was fun. Yeah. There was one other thing actually.
Right, I want to talk
something you didn't put on the list, which just reminded me. We did the flyers, which was my first flyers. And
oh yeah,
they were fun.
They were crap. Were they?
That was fun. I like them, but I need to do the ones at Oakwood still.
Oh no, the Oakwood ones are actually scary.
Yeah,
because of how like rusty and creaky they are.
Oh yeah, can't wait.
Yeah, one thing I want to talk about that I really liked about this park. Well, it's not really exclusive to this park.
No,
but this was my first taste of Chicky and Pete's. Oh my fucking god!
Yeah,
I want that in the UK right now. I will do anything to have some crab fries with cheese sauce again. They
were really nice, yeah.
It was so good. And honestly, I found that to be better than most park food in the UK, honestly.
Yeah.
It was really nice in that bar. It was our first sports bar as well that we'd been to as well. And I thought it was great. I mean, unfortunately, I got the proper Philly cheesesteak thing.
Yeah.
You got chicken, so you probably didn't get the same.
No. I wish I'd gone for the Philly cheesesteak, the proper one now.
So nice. I was quite full after that. We had to walk around for quite a bit, do you remember?
Vaguely, yeah.
But yeah, this is that, like, the Chicky and Pete's is definitely an example of something that I think is done better. Like, one of the few examples where I think the food in the US is better than the UK.
You know, it's tragic when a bottom tier Cedar Fair park has better food than Alton Towers.
Yeah.
In places. Like, it's a problem. It's a problem.
Yeah, the UK food is better overall than the stuff in the US, but that doesn't make it that great.
No.
Really.
Yeah.
So, what did you think of the park then? I mean, we saw it. We stayed there till it got dark. Got some night rides on Hydra and Talon that we finished off with.
No, I liked it. It was fun.
It's a very classic-y Cedar Fair style place for sure. It ticks all the boxes. It's got the concrete area. It's got that one drop ride with a massive concrete basin. It's got Planet Snoopy. It's got the classic roller coasters. It's got the ride that used to be there, but it's now gone. But nothing's been put there. It's got everything.
It's the Cedar Fair park.
Yeah.
It doesn't. All it's missing to be like a true Cedar Fair park is a GCI that's the best ride in the park, like every other Cedar Fair park, but low tier Cedar Fair park has. But yeah, that's I liked it. It's fun. I probably wouldn't go there again.
I would. If it was on the way to somewhere, I would go.
If it was on the way, if it was on the way to Knoebels, maybe. Yeah. We made a lot of people angry by not going to Knoebels, but we're not going to get into
and then
that.
the fact that we chose Dorney Park over Knoebels, yeah.
Which, might have been...
I don't care. I went on Possessed and I fucking love Possessed, alright? Yeah. Leave me alone.
So yeah, that's
we left that part pretty satisfied, and we got to our stop in Pennsylvania for Hershey Park, and good time.
Yeah.
And we slept well and went to Hershey Park, and of course you've already heard about that.
Yeah, loved Hershey Park. So the next day was the can I recover from this headache day.
Yeah, you were not in a very good mood that morning.
No.
After Hershey Park.
I was a bit...
I mean, you were happy, but at the same time you were like...
Still got this headache, and I was like, is it ever going to go away? Is it going to ruin the rest of the trip for me? I was a bit concerned at that point. But we pressed on.
The itinerary was we were going to go to Washington and then... Well, no. The original itinerary was you were going to drop me at Six Flags America and then you were going to go to Washington. But then we were just sort of like, let's still go to Washington first.
So we all went to DC. And
because we were considering... Because, we were considering skipping SFA altogether at this point for the sake of your head.
Yeah.
Just so we could get to Max's place.
Because it was a long drive as well from there.
Yeah, we're about to talk about something that isn't roller coasters.
Yeah. So I mean, we won't talk about it for long, but I'm sure you can. Yeah. I'm sure you can withstand a bit of us talking about tourism because you have to do a little bit of tourism.
I mean, I wasn't up for it much myself. I just wanted to get to Six Flags America.
Yeah.
Because I was so hyped for this park for all the wrong reasons.
But yeah, we went to DC. We took the metro in from somewhere.
Yeah, my first taste of the DC metro. What a fucking shite train that is.
Yeah, it's a bit crusty.
We are very spoilt by the underground.
We're very spoilt by public transport in general in the UK.
Oh yeah. One of the things I do want to quickly note about the metro is how fucking huge the station built, like the underground stations were.
Yeah, they're really
these massive arches.
The trains are quite big as well. They're quite wide and open.
Yeah.
I kind of like that because the underground is a bit claustrophobic.
I mean, yeah, but that's its efficiency, really.
Yeah. So, yeah, we went into DC. I immediately regret wearing jeans because it was hot as fuck.
Yeah, it was very hot that day. And
I mean, it was hot every day, but it was especially hot.
It was very hot this day as well. We walked to the Washington Monument, found out that was closed.
Yeah, so we looked at it.
Then we went and looked at the White House, but we couldn't even get up close because it was a year after the Charlottesville thing, so there were a lot of security precautions up.
Yeah, there's a lot of security patrolling it, so you couldn't get very close.
And then after that, we just said, fuck it, we'll go to one of the Smithsonian places.
Yeah.
We went to the what was it?
The Space Air Museum.
Yeah, Space Air Museum. That was quite fun to look around.
Yeah.
But I'd say it was better than the sort of science museum in the UK.
It's definitely better than the London Science Museum.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that was fun. And then then we sort of just reached the point where we just sat down and like, look, do you really want to go to SFA? You said no.
No.
I said yes, please.
I changed into shorts. We went back to Max's car and I changed into shorts.
Yeah.
So that I could... not
I basically said to them, look, we can go to SFA, and at the very least, we can just get some food, okay? And then, that's how we got to Six Flags America that day. Bearing in mind, when we arrived, it was... Must have been 4?
Yeah, it was...
It was quite late in the afternoon, because the cafeteria was almost empty.
We went in, we got some food. The guy serving us was fucking shocked that we were from the UK. He was
very surprised.
Max was like, "Oh yeah, these two guys are from Britain," and he was like,
"What?
Britain?
You serious?
Britain? Like
you mean like Britain?"
Yeah, he was like, "Like why the fuck are these British people here? Why have they come here? Of everywhere they could have gone." But yeah, we had food. It was a bit crap.
Yeah. Anyway, well, I think let's just wind it back a bit because we sort of skipped over the fact that we walked into the park in the first place. This park is very deceiving on the front gate because the whole entrance area and the main street isn't that bad.
It's nice, like quite nice architecture, a lot of trees.
Yeah.
Very well wooded.
I was like, I'm looking for it on Street View right now, and it really does not represent the park at all.
Yeah, I was like, oh, is this actually nice?
Yeah. And then we walked down, went past the fountain with the stuff in it. We kept walking down towards that town hall-esque building, I believe.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and that's where because that's where the place was for the food.
And then
this area is where things started to creep through a bit, though.
Yeah, and
especially when we walked into the food place. Holy fuck!
The food place was weird, wasn't it?
It was terrible.
Yeah.
It was absolutely disgusting.
The food that I wanted to eat something healthy because, like, I thought maybe some healthy food would help my head. So I had a chicken salad. And what it was like 4 chicken nuggets just in like a fucking tomb of lettuce, just buried in lettuce. And that's all it was. That was their salad.
I can't even remember what I had at that park.
You had some, I think it was like chicken and chips or something Sambra-esque.
I just remember it tasted fucking terrible and stringy and not nice.
Yeah. So
this okay, Six Flags America is like what I think people think all of Six Flags is like. Honestly, like everything, like especially with the food, like that's probably what people think that Six Flags is like.
Yeah,
just that.
Well, yeah, it's really weird because you go into the entrance, you're like, oh, this is nice. You see the fountain, the buildings, it's nice. And then as you kind of creep round the back towards,
you see like the Grand Theatre and the chair swing, like slowly, and then you just walk to the left, and you walk past, and you just see Raw, the water ride, Superman in the background, and it's like, oh,
yeah, and you get the area around like Joker's Jinx and Superman and all that, and Batwing. It's bad.
No. This park is horrendous.
The layout makes no sense.
Yeah.
It's difficult to navigate.
Well, I tell you what, let's go in order how we walked around this entire park, right? So, we started off walking to Coyote Creek. Which is where Mind Eraser is, yeah.
Which is hidden in the corner.
This is supposed to be the Wild West area. The wooden buildings looked rotten to all hell. I believe a lot of the shops were closed. I seem to remember, because there was literally me, you, and Max were the only people there.
It was a ghost town, yeah.
They had the breakdance, which was literally just on a concrete pad and had those like ball-themed cars that nobody was riding. You walk forward, more like really grubby-looking wooden buildings, and then Mind Eraser's just sort of there.
Yeah. So
okay, so Joel skipped out this one.
For the sake of my head, I thought probably best not to ride an SLC.
Me and Max were the only people in the station, bar the ride operator, when we did that ride. We had to wait for people to come on that train.
And
even then, they only got 2 more people on or something. Yeah. And then they let us go.
And we just watched you.
It was scary quiet. Like, I don't know how to describe it. There's nothing really like it in the UK that feels the same. Because even like the small parks, they do have people at them.
Yeah, it's odd,
especially on a coaster this big as well. Like having no one there whatsoever. If you go on, it wasn't. Mind Eraser was not actually too bad.
No, that's what I remember you saying before.
It was okay. It was an SLC. Yes, it was rough. Yes, it wasn't that great. But I've been on way worse.
I'll just mention now, I only rode 2 coasters at this park because I wanted to let my head recover. So I'm
going to be talking a lot more about this. So we left there. We went to Raw next, didn't we? Yeah. Raw was a surprise. Yeah. I really liked it. Like this, I mean, something that I found with SFA is that the rides there were actually good and genuinely better than some of the stuff in the UK. Like Raw, I would take that over quite a few things. It was really fun. Especially going through like GCI transitions in the PTC train. That was really unorthodox and weird. But I liked it. Literally, the only issue with Raw was like one train ops, but I mean, it was so quiet. I mean, you can understand
everything
why.
was on one train ops, wasn't it? There's no reason for it not to be when it's that quiet.
Yeah, Raw was great. It was a good little wooden coaster. Honestly, I don't really know what else to say about it.
I'm not.
I rode Apocalypse.
Oh yeah.
Now this is going to be different to what I told you. Now, when I'm gonna I think I've already told you this. When me and Max went on this, we sort of looked at each other and went, right, even if we have a good ride on this, I don't think Joel should come on this because it's a stand-up coaster, and I have a feeling that it's going to kill his head.
Yeah.
So when we got off, I did tell you it was quite rough and not that great, but in reality, it was fine.
It wasn't that bad. I do kind of wish I had ridden this.
It would have killed your head, 100%. We sort of had to exaggerate it, but trust me, if you'd been on that, you would have not been okay.
If I had known that it was its last year as a stand-up, then I would have ridden it, I think.
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed this, and if you want some spicy mayonnaise, I prefer it over Swarm.
You prefer a lot of B&Ms over Swarm, though.
I do. But this one especially, because it's funny, because it's got the whole apocalyptic theme.
Yeah.
The saddest thing, Apocalypse's key line and theme, or quote-unquote theme bit, genuinely feels no different to Swarm's area. And that is actually one of the saddest revelations I had that day.
It's just missing a bit of... It's just missing
got a crash plane.
Yeah, it's just missing a bit of music, I guess.
It did have music when it opened.
Right.
It was generic post-apocalyptic music, but it did have music.
Okay. Yeah.
It was all right. I mean, now it's becoming a flawless coaster. Thank God, because the stand-up seats were causing a very long operation time.
Yeah.
Even though there was nobody riding it, it still took them years to dispatch it because of the stand-up trains.
Probably for the best.
So maybe with the flawless trains, they'll be able to. It's for the best, really. They'll be able to get people out a lot quicker on that.
Yep.
So after this, you split off from us.
Yeah, I went to
because we did Raging Cajun.
I went to the toilet, and they were disgusting and full of flies, which was nice.
Meanwhile, me and Max were queuing for Raging Cajun, and one of the mist sprayers was broken and was spraying quite a lot of water everywhere.
Wow.
And we got quite moist standing in that queue line, even though we were only there for a short while.
Probably would have been nice in that heat, though, to be honest. It was cooling down a bit, actually.
Yeah. Raging Cajun was shit.
Oh.
No two ways about it.
Okay.
We couldn't get it to spin. We tried.
God, maybe I could have ridden it. Just for the cred.
Yeah. No, for
Wild
One. You watched us on this one, didn't you?
I did.
This was actually pretty good as well. Another pretty good coaster. I mean, I'd say it was better than Big Dipper and Nick's Creek. I don't think it was. I didn't like it more than the Grand National. But it was the first sort of classic. It was the second classic Woody I'd done on that trip that actually felt decent.
Yeah. There's I know you said a lot about the laterals.
Stupid.
Yeah, the helix at the end that just isn't banked.
It's just not banked, and you are just thrown to the side. Yeah. It is great fun.
It looks pretty fun. It's one of the ones.
Also, on this ride, you get views of the whole park from this ride as well, and it really just epitomates Six Flags America.
Oh God.
We were going to ride the Larson Loop, but we skipped it in the end, unfortunately.
So after this, we navigated to the very back of the park.
Yeah, we went via Whistle Stop.
Oh yeah, Whistle Stop, the definitely not Thomas the Tank Engine land area.
Oh dear, yeah.
Where there's a lot of evidence that Thomas the Tank Engine was definitely there at one point, but not.
Yeah.
Which is it's just very strange. Very strange.
This is the room of theme parks.
Yeah.
It's so bad that it's just a spectacle that you have to
It's really funny, yeah. It was just. Oh God.
I could imagine walking through here while intoxicated and having a great time.
So, Batwing Coaster is in such a weird location.
Yeah, it's shoved right at the back of the park, and it's got this really long winding pathway underneath Superman and round to it. Yeah,
it's got its own path. Yeah. It's very odd.
It's so far out the way, and I was excited for this one because Vekoma flying coasters had been something that I actually always wanted to do because they looked very different to the B&M ones. I just wanted to see how they rode.
Yeah.
This was not a very good example of a B&M, of a Vekoma flying coaster because. Right, a bit of explanation. Six Flags, on some of the restraints of their rides, so they don't have to keep changing the restraint padding, they put this really hard plastic coating over parts of the restraints where people's heads might go or rest on or be on.
Yeah.
And it's really, really hard sort of plastic, rubbery plastic, and it was on the vests for this ride.
And
that was really painful on my neck, super painful on any lateral movement.
Yeah, I don't.
Which is a shame because the coaster itself was actually fine. I would have enjoyed it a lot better if the vest hadn't been absolutely butchered.
I do not regret stepping out on this one whatsoever.
Yeah. Also, it took an absolute age dispatch because
I remember waiting outside for ages.
Yeah, they lowered us down, and then the lady was like, "Can you take my shoes off, please?" So they had to raise the entire thing back up, recheck all of the restraints, and then relower us and send us out. I was terrified going up that lift hill at that point, just because we've been sitting on this train for ages. And I was noticing how painful the vests felt and how this felt wrong. And oh god, nah,
it ain't good.
Nah.
Yeah, it ain't good.
It ain't. Yeah.
So after Batwing, the plan was to go on Superman, but I wanted to go to the toilet. So we're like, where are the nearest toilets? We had to walk all the way back down to almost around where Wild One is to go to the toilet, and then all the way back because the layout of this park is fucking strange and they don't have enough toilet blocks.
At this point, Joker's Jinx wasn't even open. It was shut, and we were worried that we weren't going to get on it.
Yeah.
So we walked back up, did Superman. This was one of the coasters that you actually did, so I'm going to let you speak for a little bit on this one.
We rode second from the front. You were really excited for me to try a T-bar train. And this was the first thing we did, the only thing we did on the trip with T-bar trains. And as soon as you looked at the T-bar, you said oh god, what have they done to you? The T-bar was what you said, mutilated, right?
Yeah, they had they put shin guards on it, but they'd done it in a very ratchety way. And it literally looked properly bolted on.
Yep.
Sort of feel.
It's a bit weird.
It's nasty, and it really and it was around the side, and
those are just metal bits bolted onto it. It was odd.
Yeah.
And then the coaster, it's okay.
We're very split on this, aren't we?
I don't know, the airtime was good, but nothing else was good.
I liked it. I didn't think it was amazing, however I definitely prefer over Big One personally.
I don't.
I prefer the airtime. Sure. I prefer the sense of speed around the helixes. I really wish I got to do it in the back row.
Yeah, I kind of wish we'd done it again, honestly.
Unfortunately, we just gave up because they were assigning rows and the queue had built and it was on one train ops, and of course it takes fucking ages to get through our layout and come back and load the one and go. So we just sort of gave up on riding that again.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was when we got our group photo for the day taken.
Yes. Yeah.
By that lady. And you can see in the photo on my Twitter, there is no one around us but a couple people in the background.
Yeah, it was very quiet. And no, Superman's alright. The final two airtime hills back into the station, those are quite strong hills.
Yeah, they are very strong and they have great fun.
Yeah.
So, last ride, Joker's Jinx. I fucking love this ride. It is so fun.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, well, to be fair, at that point in the day, you are pretty...
I was done at this point. This park was... Oh, my God.
I mean, the fact that you're in a bad mood because of your headache and the toilets and everything, you were not a happy bunny.
I was a bit worried about this ride in general because I didn't know what it was going to do to me. The moment that we were in... Because these are LAM launch coasters. They launch straight out the station. The moment the ride-up started counting down from 5, I knew he was going to launch us on 2 or 3, and he did. It's just oh, there we go. So you launch, you do some good elements. It's there's an inversion. It's an Immelman? Not an Immelman. Is it? what is it, a Sidewinder or something. And then you do two
Yeah,
other.
it's
I can't even tell what the first few inversions are on this thing at this point.
it's just Immelman's and
Oh, there's a Cobra roll. There's a Cobra roll in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a Cobra roll, and then it's just a Immelman, I think, or a dive. No, Immelman.
Or like
Yes.
something like that. Anyway, but yeah, you do those elements, and then you hit a mid course, which trims all the speed, and then you meander back down to the bottom.
No.
That's what I remember.
There's no mid course.
Oh. Well, still,
This doesn't have the mid course. It's just it flies straight through. God, if you thought that was meandery and slow, you should have gone on Flight of Fear.
Yeah, I thought it.
No, I thought this kept up its speed brilliantly, honestly, and I loved how whippy it was.
Did we ride the same coaster?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't agree with that.
I loved it. I thought it was great fun. Spaghetti ball coaster.
I thought it was fine. It was fine.
It was great fun. I prefer it over a lot. Again, it's another one of those rides at Six Flags America that I would take over quite a lot of things in the UK, which is weird considering it's at fucking Six Flags America.
Yeah.
But yeah, at this point we just left.
Yeah. So how long?
We were in and out in 2 hours.
Yeah. Well, with the exception of lunch,
No, even with lunch we were in and out in like 2 hours.
Yeah, we got every credit in 2 hours. Well, you got every credit in 2 hours.
Yeah, and we just left.
That's how dead the park was, and then we left.
Bye-bye.
Weird park.
There were bones in the park in the car park, do you remember that?
Yeah, there were. God, I remember that. There were just bones. They were probably from some dog had left behind. Or like someone had brought like a packed lunch with chicken bones in or something, and they just left
Something else I noticed was the car park was actually quite full, but you knew nobody was in the actual park. Everyone was at the water park.
Water parks.
Apparently the water park there is actually quite good as well.
It looks quite good. Yeah.
Yeah, a couple other things I want to talk about that we didn't mention. Fucking Blizzard River.
Oh yeah. Somehow it's better themed than
Storm Surge, and actually fits its location better than Storm Surge.
Yeah. That's nice. That's a nice.
Oh yeah, the other thing is the very obvious abandoned water ride that goes over Wild One and by Apocalypse as well.
That's a bit weird. This was also the part where I realised how fucking loud Larson loops are.
Yeah.
Because when I was waiting for you guys on Apocalypse, yeah, there was the sound of the Larson loop accompanied with the wonderful image of a giant Snickers advert on the side of the Wild One, which is just another of the many reasons why I despise Six Flags at this point.
I love this park. It's so funny.
It's a hilariously tragic park.
Unironically, I would go back to this park just to experience the tragedy again. Like when I say it's the room of theme parks, I mean that literally.
It's a good analogy. That there is one.
Please go. If you're in the area and like if you're doing a trip around the USA in the first place, you most likely have a Six Flags season pass.
Yeah.
Just go.
Yeah.
Please.
I'd say go. It's hilariously bad. It's so funny. Yeah.
I know a lot of people shit on or someone in particular said some things about Carowinds and King's Dominion.
And like this is only a few hours north, and this makes those places look like fucking Disney World.
Yeah.
Yeah. Six Flags America is. I mean, there's only one park which I like less than Six Flags America, and it's in the UK. And it's called Fantasy Island.
Oh yeah, Fantasy Island.
Which, yes, we have been
Fantasy
there
Island's
now.
Fucking terrible. We might discuss that one in the future if I ever drag you to Adventure Island, because I kind of want to compare seaside parks for that episode.
Yeah. So that's I guess that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty much it for the B-list parks. Yeah. I mean, bearing in mind, it's the second one we've recorded in the space of
we've
however long.
Literally just recorded the 2018 episode. And
we knew this one was going to be short because there's not much to talk about with these two. We've got 3 more parks from the US series. We've got King's Dominion, Carowinds, and Busch Gardens Williamsburg.
Yep.
We'll finish on BGW.
Yeah, we should have Max on for Busch Gardens Williamsburg as well, so you can talk about our general recap of the trip with him, which would be great.
Right. I have no idea what our next podcast is going to be from here onwards.
Maybe the Icon
episode. We have a few
episode.
Ideas. Either the Icon episode or one of the other ideas we've cooked up today.
Or copied from someone else. So yeah, we'll see.
Well, I mean, considering we might have the person on that we copied it from, is it really copying?
It's I guess. All right. Well, again, if you like the podcast, let us know in the comments. If you didn't like it, tell us you didn't like it in the comments.
Follow us on Twitter and do stuff with that if you want.
Yes. All that stuff. And thank you for listening once again. Goodbye.